constructive criticism is so important for growth. So important. I want to share a story with you really quick. There's a time when I struggled to take constructive criticism, and it wasn't because I didn't care. It was because I thought I knew it all, right? I had been at another height of my radio career. I had built a name for myself. So when someone tried to correct me, I saw that as that's unnecessary, brother. I'm good. But let me tell you a lesson that changed my perspective forever. So after almost taking a 10-year hiatus from radio, I was doing voiceover full time, the voice of BET, Top Rank Boxing, a whole lot of stuff. And radio wanted to call me back after 10 years to do the afternoon show in Miami. Powerhouse radio station, Hot 105. Number one in the genre, so naturally I was excited to jump back on the air and, give them that old Rick Party that they knew, man. And it was exciting. So Phil Michaels, who had hired me, Phil had been the promotions assistant at Hot 105 back in 1991 when I worked there. I was hosting the afternoon show and night show. They had gone through like 4 formats, but they kept me on. Decades later, Phil brought me out of retirement after I took that little break and was doing voiceover because he believed in my talent and my history. But what I didn't realize at the time is how much the radio industry had just evolved, right? So during my hiatus, radio personalities were learning how to settle more into their conversational, natural style when they spoke, right? And, I was still delivering that same high energy approach that I perfected for years. And that was a style that I was really proud of because it worked, right? I mean, it helped me with my name. And I thought that's what the audience wanted, right? I mean, after all, that's what I was hired to do too, right? At least so I thought. So one day, a guy I looked up to for years, Jammin' Jay Michaels, he called me up. And let me tell you something. Jay was the man back in the day, still is the man today. He had one of those voices that I admired. He was someone who had mastered his craft of connecting with the audience. So Jay had crossed over into a more adult style after all these years. And he refined his delivery into a more conversational style that resonated with the listeners. So when he called me, he said to me, "Hey, brother, how you doing? Hey, listen, let me give you a little advice. Slow down a little bit. Let the message breathe." But me, being a little arrogant, a little stubborn, I brushed it off and said, "I was hired to do what I do, man. So we're good here." Something like that. It wasn't so harsh, but that was how it felt. And that moment stuck with me, though, what Jay said to me. But I dismissed his advice, but I couldn't shake what he said. I literally compartmentalized it. I tucked it in the back of my mind. And I kept it there. And at the time, I didn't know how to deal with someone calling me out on my mess. So Jay Michaels was giving me constructive criticism to help me from a place of love. I was his little radio brother, and no less. I really wasn't ready to hear it. Jay was trying to help me grow. It was until some time later I finally reflected on what he said to me, and Jay was right. Like, there is no off to the races you go in radio. You don't rush. You take your time, especially in voiceover, for that matter. You have to slow down. You have to let people hear your voice so that the message connects, right? And when you know it, after just making that little adjustment, Jay's advice helped me achieve something incredible. I sustained the #1 ratings in Miami for the next 5 years just by making that little fix. 5 years of growth, connection, and impact, all because I finally listened to constructive criticism that I was so quick to dismiss in the first place. So today, everything I do, whether it's radio, voiceover, or teaching others through my course, is rooted in lessons like the one Jay Michaels gave me, right? He didn't just help me evolve into a radio host. He gave me a perspective I carry with me to this very day right here. So I just wanted to take a moment to give Jay Michaels his flowers. He's now a radio host in San Diego. He's killing it, doing his thing, still living with purpose, still making impact, and still inspiring people like me to keep growing. Jay, I want to say to you, brother, you were instrumental in my career then, and your wisdom is still with me right now. Thank you for calling me out when I needed it the most. And of course, reminded me that there's always room for growth. Jay Michaels, from the bottom of my heart, brother, I just want to say thank you.